On this week's episode, an actor with a particular set of skills is spotted filming in Boston. Ryan Reynolds begging Hugh Jackman to return as Wolverine, an interview with a local longtime actor, and the best kid-friendly movies for Halloween. For the Hub on Hollywood, I'm James.
I'm Jamie. Liam Neeson's coming for you.
He will.
Oh, God.
All right, Jamie, it's that special time of the year. Fall is in full bloom, full season, full fall, and it's Halloween. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, James. It's the best time of the year.
Absolutely. So have you been doing any Halloween-y things?
Yeah. So last night we were at our kids' school, at my son's school, and they had a trunk or treat event out in the parking lot. And man, people just went all out. It was the back trunks of people's cars in the parking lot and decorated up. And there was one that was like a whole Jurassic Park scene with like,
nice,
billboards, stuff in cardboard that they had built, and, the people in the inflatable dinosaurs and whatnot. They had an Encanto one, and I was dressed as Mirabelle. Yeah. And they had Nightmare Before Christmas. That
Mirabelle costume, by the way, is insanely popular.
Yeah, so if you folks have been following us, I was dressed as Mirabelle at Fan Expo Boston earlier this year, and it was very, very popular with the kids. And it was a hit again last night. I was taking lots of pictures, and lots of like little 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds coming up to me and thinking I was the real Mirabelle.
Of course.
So that was really fun. And James, I don't know about you, but Halloween time. It is my favorite time of the year. I try to get in at least 2 or 3 costumes or 2 or 3 events. It's just so fun because not only do you get to dress up, but you get to like celebrate the pop culture that we love so much throughout the year. So what about you, James? Anything planned? Anything you want to do?
We're keeping it close to the house and passing out candy. Hopefully we get a lot more trick-or-treaters this year than we have in years past. We are not dressing up. However, we do have a Halloween costume for our cat, JB, as a BB-8. Plush kind of BB-8 costume from Star Wars. She's not a big fan, but we love it, so I'm pretty sure that'll be put on sometime this weekend.
Oh, so she's a JBB-8?
Exactly. And so actually I'll post pictures of JBB8 and yourself as Mirabelle on our social media at Hub on Hollywood, which you can find on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all the social media. We're out there at Hub on Hollywood. And we're also on YouTube. Subscribe there. Leave a comment down below. Join the conversation. Let us know what you're dressing up as. Like, send us your Halloween-inspired, your movie-inspired Halloween costumes.
Yeah, and bonus points if it's a local New England movie-inspired Halloween costume. Because that's super on the nose.
What's a very popular Halloween costume? Liam Neeson. That's right. The actor. Do people dress up as him? That was just my very loose kind of segue into Liam Neeson spotted filming in Boston.
I'm sure that they do because he's got a particular set of skills.
Absolutely.
Going to save his family. And he's saving his family again, James. But here.
If he doesn't, who will? Yeah, that's the best. And so he is starring in the new movie Thug. He's playing an aging San Pedro gangster who's trying to reconnect with his children and correct the errors of his past. But the criminal underworld is unwilling to let the old gangster go so quickly. Spotted around Boston, in Allston, and in the North End with the crew and everything. So another big-time actor using the beautiful backdrop of Boston.
Let me tell you, I'm trying so hard to get into this one. Liam Neeson's one of my father-in-law's absolute favorite of all times. Even though he plays the same character in literally every movie, it works and it sells. Yeah. People love seeing him in that role. So yeah, I was in the running for something. Unfortunately, I didn't get it. So I'm going to keep trying. This is going to be a really fun one. And if you want to be in the Liam Neeson movie, it's LDI Casting is doing the background casting on this one and for some of the other roles as well. So you're going to want to go to LDIpro.com and sign up with them to get the notifications on Thug with Liam Neeson that is filming here right now. There's also Another brand new movie, James, I wanted to mention that just started filming in and around Boston. It's called The Shade.
Ooh.
And they were spotted just a couple of days ago, the crew, out at Becker College campus. And they had a group of Leicester High School students appearing
that's awesome.
as extras, right? Yeah, in the background as students populating their college there. So the kids were really excited to be a part of that. The Shade by Red King Cinemas. It was originally a short film on Netflix, and now it's being made into a full movie. So that one is through Boston Casting. And they're looking for background on that right now. Just started.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a lot of good projects, always constantly filming, being done here in New England. So really cool. Jamie, let's get into our next segment, top stories hitting the entertainment world.
Okay.
Does that sound exciting?
Yes.
Perfect. We needed that.
Like a sound effect for it.
We'll throw in sound effects everywhere. But yeah, the first one is, you watched WandaVision. You were a fan of the Disney Plus series.
Oh yeah. Yep. Tons of fun.
Well, at the very end, if you did watch it, spoiler alert, but Vision basically splits in half. There are two Visions, and one of them leaves to find himself and reconnect. The spinoff is in the works, currently titled Vision Quest. The spinoff is set to focus on the new version of the character Vision, seen during the closing episodes of WandaVision. Paul Bettany, of course, returning to the role. And possibly, did you hear this? Elizabeth Olsen may be appearing as well.
Well, that would be wonderful if she did. That was a really fascinating take that they did with the double vision, with the two visions. So I'd be interested to see, does he come back to himself? Does he become the character that he was before?
Does Wanda paint him and pretend he's the original Vision?
Right, yeah, because what's with the color? What was with the separation of the two visions that left him colorless and blank? I guess, does she color him like color by numbers?
Yeah, she just paints him.
Yeah.
She makes it like a family event.
But we know, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, that Wanda's kind of gone off the rails. So it would be interesting to see which version of Wanda we're getting, where it fits in the timeline, and whether or not Vision is going to become what he was before or not, or whether this is an entirely new character. It's so fun when they do things like this, because it's like a character exploration, and it's not a paint by numbers plot line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like you're not exactly sure where it's going to go, and I think that's exciting. So I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are a little marveled out, but I don't know. How do you feel about it, James?
Well, initially, I'll be honest, when I first heard about this, I thought, I was kind of, another thing. Am I really interested in this character? Like, am I really going to watch this spinoff? However, I think Andor, the Star Wars spinoff about Cassian Andor, I like how they're playing with different genres. And so Andor is a very like spy thriller mystery, where with, as you mentioned, this could be like its own thing, exploring a different genre of filmmaking. So this could be a very introspective Marvel comic series. And so I don't know. I do like how they're doing different things. And so I would say I'm looking more forward to this than it
was
Agatha
all along.
It was Agatha
Yes.
all along. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Agatha, that spinoff, I'm actually not really looking forward to that. That sounds like it's pushing some of my Marvel limits of like, that person gets one. I don't know. I feel like there's a more intrinsic story.
I love that actress though. Her name is escaping me at the moment.
And she was great on WandaVision too. But I don't know. Did we need her story also?
No. But are people going to watch it and Marvel's going to make money off of it, i.e. Disney's going to make money off of it? Yes. So yeah. They're going to keep doing this. But I get you. I get that feeling like it's a little much. It's a little much. Something that we're going to talk about a little later in what we're watching, though, what I would love to see more of in Marvel, and what we are going to be getting, is something like Daredevil. It is just amazing. It is the quintessential, it is the pinnacle of superhero sort of filmmaking or storytelling. Show Daredevil originally, from Netflix, and now on Disney Plus, they've re-upped it. We're going to be getting a new Daredevil series that's going to air in 2024. So it's still a little bit of await right now. They're filming it now, James, in New York City, which makes me want to figure out how to get cast in it so that I can go down to New York City and hang out with Charlie Cox.
Yeah.
Just, I don't have the words for it at the moment. We'll talk about it a little bit more at the end of.
It is a really good show.
But it's so amazing, and that I think should be the gold standard for the kinds of superhero stories that they tell, and that is really, really exciting. And I can't wait to see that and see more of Daredevil in the MCU and his kind of character and his kind of storytelling. That gives me genuine excitement. Whereas, another Vision, another wham bam, thank you, man, like big superhero with giant superpowers doesn't really do it for me. But someone where the stakes are high and you're closer to the ground, closer to the humanity of that character, that makes me feel something, James. That's what I want.
All right,
I want to feel something.
We will get to it, so don't worry. But you know what else other people are feeling and are looking forward to watch also? Deadpool 3. And a lot of people were of course surprised when Hugh Jackman said that he would be reprising his role as Wolverine, because after his previous one, the last one, Logan, where his character, spoiler alert, actually dies, after that movie he said he was done playing the role. He had done what he wanted to do, and he feels like the character had this amazing, great arc, and it came to a definitive conclusion. And so, not a lot of people were convinced that he would come back, though they were hoping. Apparently, according to Hugh Jackman, he says Ryan Reynolds pleaded with him daily to reprise his role as Wolverine. Jackman says he thinks it was a big shock to Reynolds when he told him that he did, in fact, accept the role. This will be the 10th time Jackman has been suited up as Wolverine. And he's already getting into character shape, so another buff Wolverine. This, I think, canonically will take place before Logan. And again, it's Deadpool. It's like the multiverse. You can play around with that very loosely. And I think that's going to be good. Coming out 2024 in November.
Oh, man. So apparently 2024 is the year. Are we just skipping 2023? Are we just skipping the next year?
We should. I have a bad feeling about 2023 Yeah.
Oh, God. We'll do some research. Let's see if there's anything, worthy coming up. But
any time travelers, let us know.
Yeah.
What we should also know is whether Avatar 2 is going to be good, because if you are going to go watch it, you are going to be inside that movie theater in that seat for 3 hours and 10 minutes.
What? What did you say?
This movie, 3 hours and 10 minutes long.
Oh, God. Okay, is there an intermission? Because I'm going to have to pee.
Now, are you surprised? It sounds like you are surprised that James Cameron would do this. I think because the last Avatar was 2 hours and 40 minutes long. People have sat in a Avengers Endgame movie that was 3 hours, 2 minutes long. So James Cameron is like, you know what? I've been waiting 10 years to do this. You're gonna watch everything I put in this film.
Yeah, it was more like 12 years. I guess it's just that's tough. I think
you have to. That's a movie you have to plan accordingly. Like most movies, you could just walk in, get your drinks, get your thing. You're fine. This one you have to plan. Okay, before I go in, use the restroom. Don't drink too much soda. You have to make all those snap judgments in that theater.
Right. And then you got to judge. Okay, say you have to go to the bathroom. Where is there a good lull in the action? That I can run away quick enough and not miss anything vital. That's just the challenge with it. I am afraid, I'm sure that there's tons of amazing content and that maybe it won't even feel like 3 hours. He's James Cameron and it's going to be a great movie. I question whether even a great movie needs 3 hours to tell the story and whether or not there should be a little more editing there. I don't know until I watch it, obviously. But it seems to me like there are very few movies where that's necessary.
There's a Roger and Ebert quote. I think it was Ebert who said this, but he said, "No good movie could be too long, and no bad movie could be too short." So who knows?
Right.
I'm in the same boat as you. Trust me. If it's a bad movie, I've been in some bad 3 hour movies, and eventually you have to decide whether to leave or commit to it. Yeah, I'm hoping that James Cameron nails the landing, and Avatar 2 is good because he has like 5 more coming after this. So hopefully it's good.
Are they each going to be like 10 years apart because he's going to die at some point?
No,
he's building a robot body, I'm sure, and so he'll live in perpetuity.
Like Kevin Feige,
just like Kevin Feige.
He's just going to become an AI.
Yeah.
Content machine.
Well, in any long movie or any movie really, if you do have kids, you have to plan accordingly as well because kids, they have to go to the restroom too. They have to get their snacks. And so what is the best Halloween movie, scary films that are friendly for kids that will have them in that seat the entire time? Hollywood Reporter came out with its 23 kid-friendly scary films for Halloween. And some of them I was expecting, others not so much. The first one in their list is Hocus Pocus.
Completely disagree. This is a movie that I do not want to show my kids because literally the first thing it does is open up with a child murder. Okay?
That grabs the attention. But
it also traumatizes your child who is watching the movie. And then later they turn a child into a rat, and it's very grotesque and disgusting while the witches are chanting and trying to eat him. And I just remember being traumatized by this movie. And I'm not in a hurry to show it to my kids. So strike one, Hollywood Reporter. I do not think that that's a good one for kids. I have my own suggestions, but let's go through the list a little bit and see what else they have here.
So next is Beetlejuice. I think that balances a fine line of being like scary and creepy while also being goofy and wacky. And so that I would keep on the list.
Yeah, and it's got a lot of adult jokes that, hopefully would just go right over your kid's head. But I don't know. That one I'm on the fence about, too. As far as what age of the kids are we talking about here? Because, I've got a 7-year-old and a 2-year-old. I don't think I'm going to show the 7-year-old Hocus Pocus or Beetlejuice. So 0 for 2. No, I do not agree with this list. I'm very offended.
Okay, how about this? How about Casper? Casper, the friendly ghost.
There you go. It's in the name. He's a friendly ghost and kid friendly. God, I don't know the name of the actor at the end, but that was one of my first biggest movie crushes.
Oh, Macaulay Culkin.
No, it wasn't Macaulay Culkin. No. It was another actor. Much cuter than Macaulay Culkin. And the boy who plays him at the end where he transforms back into the boy.
Devon Sawa?
Devon Sawa. Oh my God, so cute.
Was he your childhood crush?
He was one of my first childhood crushes. So yeah, sure. Casper the Friendly Ghost. I'm pro that. I'm pro that.
You're like, Mom's going to put that on. Yeah, so I was actually surprised to see Arachnophobia starring Jeff Daniels. Jeff Daniels and John Goodman. And so that one is a spider horror film, and I would say I watched it pretty young. I wasn't scared, but I can understand that having spiders invade your house and crawling all over you, how that could be terrifying. So maybe that's my kind of iffy one also.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
It is a very good movie, but not sure if it's a entirely all kid friendly movie.
I'm going to tell you 2 of mine that I would definitely show my kids, and let me know if these are on the list.
Okay.
So this is from, real mom on the ground, with the kids right now. Hotel Transylvania.
Transylvania is on the list.
Yes, all the Hotel Transylvania movies. So cute, so fun. Definitely would show my kids that, and I might do it, later today. And Addams Family, the original Addams Family.
Ooh, it is.
Yeah, so that one that's a great one. I love the Wednesday Addams when she goes to the summer camp.
Oh yeah,
she goes to the sleepaway camp and how dark and wonderful that is. Definitely would do Addams Family. What about you, James? Are there anything on here that you like that you would show your nieces and nephews?
So I would show them. Well, I think this is a very easy one. Monsters Inc. That's a very nice monster film, and I think kids of all ages will enjoy that. I also like Ghostbusters. They have Ghostbusters on the list. I know that may not, I think some kids may be freaked out by it depending on how old they are. But I think Ghostbusters is a solid movie that is great for adults because it hits on so many different levels, but also fun enough for kids. Make them want to dream to become a ghost catcher. So I think that's a good choice.
Just no Ouija boards, please.
No Ouija boards.
I'm pro those. Okay, yeah.
Oh, Hubie Halloween made the list too. That was filmed right here.
Awesome. Yeah, recently filmed Adam Sandler film, filmed here in New England. It was filmed down in Rhode Island, and I believe some parts in Massachusetts. So awesome.
Excellent. Let us know what you think are some of your favorite kid-friendly Halloween movies. Let us know at Hub on Hollywood on all the social media. Speaking about so many movies that are filmed here and all the local talents, let's get into our next interview. Are we calling it Tinser Towny?
Tinsel Towny, our next Tinsel Towny. Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, we'll work on the sound effects, guys. But our Tinsel Towny for this week on the Hub on Hollywood, a longtime actor, Vic Ramos. He's been on so many sets. And a former colleague of ours. We had a really fun conversation. So here's our talk with Vic Ramos. Hey, Vic.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Sure.
All right. So, Vic, you are a background actor. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got into it and how long you've been doing this?
I've been kind of doing it off and on since, I guess, maybe 2007. And when I was still working at a radio station, WBZ. And the union SAG-AFTRA that we both belong to is the union for the actors as well as broadcasters. So we had an opportunity as members of the union to do acting or background acting and acting it for that matter at the time. So there was a show in Massachusetts that was filming called The Proposal with Sandra Bullock. And they were looking for people. And I was interested particularly because they were looking for Filipinos to cast, which I am. And so I registered with Boston Casting here in Boston, and they picked me. But unfortunately, I didn't make the cut. But that was kind of the start of things. And then from there on, I was just kind of doing things off and on as time permitted while I was still working at the radio station. And now that I'm not working at the radio station anymore, I've been kind of doing it semi-regularly, or as often as I can get work anyway.
And so when you first started doing this, what were your friends or family saying about your interest in, being part of the filmmaking, industry?
Well, I guess it was typical of, anybody that you say you're working in the film industry and that, wow, this is kind of cool. And it is kind of cool, actually, because it's really an opportunity to learn how films are made and how the industry works. And it's also, a great way of being a part of an integral part of the film, actually.
That's so cool. So, Vic, it sounds like your story is a lot like my story. When SAG and AFTRA merged, I started getting those emails to like, hey, try this and try that. And when I had the opportunity to, I jumped on it. And it just seems like it's such a unique opportunity here in Boston in particular, that every year there's just more TV, more film. Can you talk about some of the funner big name projects you've been a part of? And do you see that too, that a lot of these projects are just getting more and more and more?
Sure. Some of the more recent projects that have just been released or recently released that I've been involved in was Hocus Pocus 2. That's now on Disney Plus. Don't Look Up with Meryl Streep and Leonardo DiCaprio. The Dexter reboot I was in. What was really kind of cool about actually all three of those shows were actually two of the three shows, Hocus Pocus and Don't Look Up in particular. It was kind of set in a warm climate setting, Florida, summertime kind of a thing. And we were filming it late November and into the winter when it was really cold, and we were in like summer clothes. And that was kind of a interesting dynamic there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's part of the movie magic.
I remember during one take of Don't Look Up, it was like maybe windy and 15 degrees outside, and we were supposed to be in Florida, like I said, and we would be in summer clothes and shirt sleeves and shorts and whatnot, and in between takes we'd be rushing for our jackets and putting them on and drinking hot chocolate.
Well, I'm glad they at least had your jackets there for you and the hot chocolate and whatnot. And Hocus Pocus 2, we did see you, Vic, in line in front of the mayor, was it? When he was trying to get his apple cider.
Yeah.
His apple, his candy apple.
His caramel apple, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, were people on set excited to be back there because Hocus Pocus is such a an iconic classic Halloween movie now, and so I would imagine people that were probably there maybe grew up watching the movie or were aware of it the first time around.
Sure, they were excited. I was a little excited to be working on not only Hocus Pocus but a Disney movie. It's kind of cool to be working on a Disney movie, actually. But people were excited, especially the local background people who got an opportunity to work that don't normally work background. They were cast, and I know they were excited. The more regular background people, we kind of took it in stride, but still, like you said, Jamie, the magic is there, and seeing how everything is done is really kind of cool.
And there's so many other opportunities too. Even once you're on set, you can get that bump. I was background once and I got bumped up to be a stand-in, and sometimes you can get some lines. And I understand that happened to you on Don't Look Up. Is that something you can tell us a little bit about?
I can tell you a little bit about it. Yeah, I did get bumped up for one day. Did a couple of lines with Jennifer Lawrence, but unfortunately that didn't make the cut. But that's okay. I can still say that I got to act with Jennifer Lawrence. But yeah, it was kind of cool because we were doing our normal background stuff. We were kind of sitting around and waiting for the director's take on things. And next thing I knew, somebody came up to me and said, "The director wants to talk to you." And I said, "Okay." And I'm thinking to myself, "Oh, what did I do to get in trouble now?" And they said, "No, we want you to do a couple of lines with Jennifer Lawrence." And sure enough, we did that. And it was, we spent, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half doing that one take, all for naught actually, but still it was a lot of fun to do. And it is a bump, not only in doing the lines, but also in pay too.
No, that's cool. So let me ask you, because I'm originally from Los Angeles, Hollywood area, and so I think just talking about the film industry, you automatically think of the West Coast and Southern California. I also know that very recently Georgia was like the place to make all your movies. Like that was the talk of the town, that a lot of productions were going to Georgia. And then now I feel most recently that maybe New England is getting its time in the spotlight right now. Maybe I'm just kind of biased because I'm over here, but I feel like New England is really getting its name on the map recently with more projects being filmed and shot here.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, James. And that's thanks in a huge part to the tax break that production companies were given by Massachusetts. And it's just been recently made permanent. So now a lot of production companies are coming in and doing films. A bunch of studios are now up and operating. The biggest one probably is the New England Studios and the old Fort Devens. There's like 4 big, huge sound stages there. There's a studio down in Quincy. I think it's called the Marina Studios. And I'm hearing of studios going up in Waltham and I believe Foxborough too, and the old South Weymouth Naval Air Station down South Weymouth is a big place for shooting too.
So would you say that then this is the place to be if you want to be an actor instead of having to go to Los Angeles or go to New York?
Absolutely. I wouldn't totally count Los Angeles out, but certainly New England, the New England area and Massachusetts in particular is a great place to get into the business. Absolutely.
Excellent. So what would your advice be for people who think it's interesting or, best way people can get started with this too?
I would say the best way people can get started is, first of all, register with a casting agency. Boston Casting is one of the bigger ones around here. CP Casting is another one. There's all kinds of other casting agencies that you can register with. Get on their mailing list. It doesn't cost anything. You'll start getting emails about productions going on, and then you just kind of make yourself available, and they'll give you a call or they'll email you saying that we're interested in seeing you and doing a project with you. Obviously, it helps if you get some sort of basic training, as I have. I've taken a couple of workshops with Boston Casting on auditioning and acting in front of a camera and things like that. I would kind of go that way. Sure.
So, before we let you go, we're going to talk a little bit more, but I'm curious, do you have a favorite experience on set that you can share with us?
Oh, gosh. Let me think about that. Probably Don't Look Up was my favorite because we were together for a few days on set and offset, and I got to know a lot of the background people. Not so much so the A-listers because they were kind of off in their own thing, but we kind of bonded really, and that was a lot of fun to do, and a lot of fun to see them day in and day out, and kind of work with them. That was a lot of fun. We were working under extreme conditions because it was done during the pandemic, so there were a lot of protocols that we had to follow, testing and masking up. Still do, as a matter of fact. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I guess another. I was just looking at my notes here. Another cool experience I had was working on a movie called The Sleepover it was on Netflix a couple of years ago, and it was kind of a Spy Kids type of show, but we were involved in a fight scene at one of the theaters here in Boston, and it was my first time to see an actual stunt being performed and rehearsed, and that was pretty awesome to see.
What was the stunt? Do you remember?
It was basically a fight scene. They came down and there was like a sword fight, and they were breaking breakaway tables and vases over people's heads, and it was kind of cool. And there was one instance where they were doing the rehearsal, and they got down to their last, I think, breakaway table, I think it was, and they said, the director said, we got to get it right this time because we have no more tables to break. but yeah, that was a lot of fun to see, to be not only a part of, but to watch and see how that all took place.
No, that's awesome. No, there's I'm not sure if you watch it on YouTube, the channel Corridor Crew, and they interview people who do stunts and they do VFX and everything like that. And so it's really cool seeing the whole movie making and filmmaking process of putting it all together. When you're watching a movie nowadays, whether you've been in it or not, is it hard to kind of disconnect? Yeah,
it's funny that you say that, James, because every once in a while I'll be watching a show with my wife or whoever, or even by myself, and whether it's a show that I was involved in or not, I'll see how something is done. I said, yeah, I know how they did that. it kind of takes away the magic, if you will. But still, no, it's kind of cool to see how things are done and how things are produced and the final product on the screen. But yeah.
Yeah, my best friend, he actually works on movie sets and TV shows, and he goes all around doing the lighting and the setting up of all that equipment. And so whenever we're watching something, he's like, okay, that's good lighting, or that's not good lighting. I would have done it this way. I would have put this here. And so yeah, it does kind of you're seeing all the parts that make the sausage. And so I kind of fall into that too when I'm watching something. I may have to focus more or remind myself, just submerge yourself into the movie or into the show or the report. And so no, but that's funny.
Yeah, I just actually finished watching a really cool episode of Daredevil where it was like a 10-minute long continuous sequence with one steady camera and all of these stuntmen. It was like the main character was escaping a prison, and I'm like, oh my God, it's so cool. That's the kind of camera they're using, and they must have rehearsed that so much with the stunt people, and the amount of coordination. That just seems like that's the really fun part of putting film together. So is this something you want to see yourself doing more of?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I can see myself doing this for the immediate future. Sure. It's a lot of fun, and like I said, it's a continual learning experience, really.
Excellent. Do you want to end on what we're watching? Are you watching anything right now, or have you seen a movie recently, or anything that's catching your eye?
Not recently. I mean, the most recent picture that I saw, really, from beginning to end, was Hocus Pocus 2. So that was kind of cool.
It's just looping on repeat at the house.
Yeah, right. And then rewinding my part in there. Yeah, sure.
You got to get those clicks.
Yeah, right.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Vic, thank you so much for joining us on the Hub on Hollywood. Jamie, is there anything else you want to add?
Hey, Vic. No, thank you so much for joining us here on the Hub on Hollywood. It's so fun to see our friends out there and showing up in these big movies and making new friends on set.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
it's just really exciting, the amount of opportunities that there are now coming to New England. So I'm looking forward to seeing you on set again. And is there anything that you would like to plug, sir, before we let you go?
The only thing I can plug right now is keep watching Hocus Pocus 2 on Disney Plus.
There you go.
To make Hocus Pocus 3 and bring them all back again.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's a bunch of big projects coming out too, just in the next couple of months between Spirited and a couple more that were shot here in New England.
Yep.
So just tons of awesome stuff continuing to come out. So people should keep listening to the Hub on Hollywood, because we will let you know what they are and help you get cast in the next ones as well. So thank you, Vic.
Vic, thank you.
You're welcome.
A big thank you once again to Vic Ramos for hopping on the Hub on Hollywood. Now let's get into what we're watching. I will be honest, I was not really entirely looking forward to or wanting to see this movie in the theaters. However, I am an AMC Stub Club holder member, which means I have 3 movies for free a week under the subscription. And so I watched Black Adam. So I figured I'd go watch it. The Rock, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, playing the titular character. And most reviews are already out. I think I agree. I'm in the same kind of boat. It's not a great, fantastic movie, but it's not a bad movie either. It's kind of like, okay, it was fun. Story's like whatever. Action's really cool. The Rock's, good. A lot of great supporting actors, I will say that, and supporting characters. But Black Adam, I would say, I think it's worth your time. I think it's a good time in the movie theater. Not a hard-hitting movie review, but it wasn't a hard-hitting movie either. So that's what I was watching recently.
It's ironic because I feel like The Rock would hit you pretty hard.
Oh, in real life, I'd crumble, yeah. I'd crumble into pebbles.
You just, kind of explode.
No, but it is doing well. The audience, it had a great opening weekend. The audience tomato score, Rotten Tomatoes, is around 90%. So audience are enjoying it. Critics, not so much. But for most people, they would say, it's not a bad movie. It's nothing great. It hits on tropes that we've seen before in other superhero movies that, people were kind of hoping that, we'd be out of that phase by now. But again, by no means is this a terrible movie. The Rock is entertaining. He's charming. The Justice Society, the actors who make them up, including Pierce Brosnan, who is actually really good in this film. I don't think many people will be rewatching this movie, or it's not one of those instant comic classics. But again, not a bad movie.
Awesome.
If you're gonna watch something in the theater, why not? That's my review.
If you want something harder hitting, James, and you haven't already watched it, watch it again. I talked last week about how I've been diving into the world of Daredevil, and the 2015 series with starring Charlie Cox. It was on Netflix, and it was a Marvel take on this character. God, what a special show! Okay. I have not been able to stop watching. This is to my own detriment, unnecessary, sleepless nights, because that's the only time I get to myself, watching, episode after episode. I'm blown away. When it comes to superhero or comic movies, I think that this stands alone on the mountaintop, by far. And I just cannot sing the praises enough of the showrunners on this one. So Daredevil, this flawed, conflicted, deeply religious character, and his friends that all have like these very realistic relationships. You got Foggy Nelson, his partner-in-law, and Karen Page, who is their office manager, and each one of these characters is so fleshed out, so realistic. The charisma, the interactions between them, feel so real. They feel so real, and the characters and the storylines are just so low to the ground. They're so down to earth, and realistic. And the stakes are so high that you feel fear for these people genuinely at every turn. Of course, Kingpin is the main, what's his name? He's the main villain here. Vincent D'Onofrio, that's his name, playing Wilson Fisk as Kingpin. I just cannot sing the praises enough.
Oh, no, it's great.
The captivating, long dialogue, character explorations, incredible single shot, the
hallway scene.
There were two of them. There was one in the first season that was a hallway fight sequence where he saves the little boy who's going to be sex trafficked. And then in season 3, one of the most amazing accomplishments I have ever seen in a TV show or movie ever. And I don't say that lightly, James. I'm so excited right now. Ever. And I can't believe it's taken me this long to watch it, where it's like 10 minutes long of him fighting, of Charlie Cox's Daredevil fighting his way through this prison that they did all in one take.
Is it Charlie Cox or is it John Bernthal?
No, John Bernthal plays Punisher. And Charlie Cox is Daredevil.
Yeah, I think John Bernthal, I don't know if it's in The Punisher or if it was in Daredevil, because I didn't see the last season, so I didn't know where it belonged. But John Bernthal's Punisher also has like a badass prison battle, like Royale kind of a thing too.
He does.
Yeah.
I think that's in season 2. I want to say.
So everybody's fighting in hallways, but yeah, it's a great series. Yeah, I watched it when it came out too, and at the time, a lot of people were talking about how, exactly what you've been saying too. But just impressed with the casting, the storyline, the practical effects, finally seeing like superhero fighting on the street level, where anybody can put themselves in a situation of like this. I could be walking down the street and Daredevil could be fighting 20 dudes right now. It's that like realistic, it seems like. And so no, it is a great show. So happy that you got on. I actually stopped watching after the second season, and so I need to hop on. At the time, I was watching 5 other shows too. It was a busy time for James and the streaming wars at that period. But no, Charlie Cox, it all. Again, he has a great supporting cast, great supporting actors and crew, but he also carries a lot of the weight of this show on his shoulders, because if it doesn't work for him, if you don't buy him as Daredevil, then the show is not successful. And so big kudos to him.
Yeah, and he's another one that he's British. He has a British accent, and somehow
those Brits are good.
Just amazing, amazing American.
Well, John Bernthal is one of us.
Yeah, John Bernthal is one of us. But it was, not only those action sequences that got me, James, it was like spending an entire episode with just, Foggy confronting Matt Murdock and these two friends, like juxtaposing, like seeing how their relationship started and how the relationship is now ending. And it's, and that conflict between them, and the, crying throughout this episode because it feels so real. Or, like Villain, when he captures the Punisher, and they just spend an entire, most of the episode talking about morality and life and loss and despair and self-reflection. Where else do you get that in any of these other comic book movies or shows? Like, it's a whole other level above what I've seen before. And I'm just so obsessed right now. I'm just so very obsessed. And I love it. I recommend it. If you've got time this Halloween season, it's dark, whatever, it gets supernatural at one point. But even the supernatural parts, they're like, wow, this is really dumb. Like, it's self-deprecating. It's like, this is really stupid, but I only care about, protecting my neighborhood. I only care about protecting the people I love. So whatever, I'll go with it.
I love the passion. I'm gonna get this clip, shorten it up a little bit, send it right to Charlie Cox. We're gonna tweet it. We're gonna get him on the Hub on Hollywood, where he can gush to his face.
Hi, Charlie.
No,
Do you
honestly.
need an extra?
Yeah, hire me. I'm really close by.
Come on.
Oh no, that's awesome. No, I love that you love it, and yeah, you're also watching The Defenders, something that you'd recommend.
Yeah, and I also recommend The Defenders. Great chemistry between, Matt Murdock and the Iron Fist and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. and real great payoffs. Like there's some humorous parts with really great payoffs. The emotional weight is there. The emotional weight of that story is never lost. And you see what we think is the end of Matt Murdock, but he's a real guy. You know, he feels like such a real person, and his love and his loss, it really connects with the audience. So wherever he is, whether it's the Defenders, whether it's Spider-Man, whether it's She-Hulk, like you just love him so much. This character, the way he's written, the way he's acted, I can't speak highly enough of it. So now I'm going to stop before I continue embarrassing myself. But yeah, that's the top recommendation right now.
Yeah, those listening, watching right now, leave your notes, leave your comments down below, and join the conversation. Let us know how much you love Daredevil and how big of a Defenders fan are you. Also, comment down below on your thoughts on Black Adam and the best kid-friendly Halloween movies. What are you watching? What are you dressing up as? Be sure to send us your photos and everything else at Hub on Hollywood on our social media platforms. But stick around after the show because we have a growing list of casting calls local here in New England that we want to get you on the big and on the small screen. So stick around after the episode. But Jamie, great episode. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween to you. That was a lot of fun. Go watch. Oh, and watch out for Daredevil Born Again in 2024. Until then, James, we'll talk to you guys next week. Well, hopefully I will be a little bit more normal. Until then, I'm Jamie.
I'm James.
We'll see you then. This is the best part. If you are an actor or you just want to spend a day on set, this is where we help you get on the movies. So dancers are needed right now for Invitation to a Bonfire. This is a limited series. I believe on AMC is going to be Yep, on AMC. So this is shooting late November, and they are looking for female dancers, 18 plus, who can portray high school students at an elite, privileged all-girls boarding school in the 1930s. That sounds really fun. They are specifically looking for dancers who have experience with 1930s social dance partners, social dancing, like the foxtrot, the swing, the Lindy Hop, the Charleston.
Oh, the old Lindy. Yeah.
Yeah, the old Lindy Hop, James. You do that all the time, right?
All the time. Yeah, every wedding.
Okay. So every wedding, exactly. Women's sizes 0 to 12, no visible tattoos, preferably shoulder length or shorter hair, natural colors only. If that sounds like you, and you meet the requirements, they would like you to sign up for an audition. So they want you to come and actually dance for them for this. So the audition, the place to register for the audition is, okay, guys, here's the email address or the webpage to write down. It's ccca.worldeducationweb.org/programs ? ID equals 936. Okay, maybe we'll put this.
This is a prank. That wasn't a real email address at all.
Yeah, no, it's not an email address. It's a web address. We'll link that below. How about that? We'll link that below. So auditions are next week. So if that's what you want to do, the link will be in the description below. It's going to be at the Cambridge Community Center for the Arts. And bring a headshot, candid shot. You're dancing. And a resume, and best of luck getting into Invitation to a Bonfire. That is a really fun project.
Okay, Boston Casting, they are looking for... Sorry. Boston Casting, they are looking for stand-ins. This is casting for a Caucasian person, 18 years old and older, between 4'6" and 4'11". This is both a SAG and non-union gig, so depending what situation or status you are in, you are eligible. pays $219 a day, shoots on November 4th through December 8th, and you must have a flexible schedule. So submit your photo, bio, height, contact information, where you're from. Send that to Boston Casting Submit 5, the number 5, Boston Casting Submit 5 at gmail.com.
Okay, and Boston Casting is looking for background performers with military or police experience for a feature film. This shoots in November in the Boston area. To be considered, they want you to send a headshot and photo, current phone number and email, height, military and police experience to Boston Casting Collective at gmail.com, and in the subject line, write the collective extras and your name.
This is LDI casting for the movie Thug. That's starring Liam Neeson that we were just talking about earlier. This is, once again, an aging San Pedro gangster played by Liam Neeson. Attempts to reconnect with his children, save people, rectify his mistakes. They are looking for a father and a mother, mid-30s to mid-40s, a son to portray a 12-year-old, and a daughter to portray an 8 to 10-year-old with a sassy attitude. This is filming on November 6th, 7th, 8th for 3 work days. There's a SAG waiver if you are non-union. They're also looking for someone who can play an abuela, Hispanic female, to portray someone who is around 70 years plus. Also looking for Hispanic, African-American, or Asian women between 19 and 26 years old. So we have a link here, so you can send pictures to LDIbackground at gmail.com. And I believe there is a link that we can also put down below to make this whole thing easier.
All right. And back to Boston Casting, they're looking for men with candlepin bowling experience. Candlepin bowling, that is a big New England
very big
pastime. So I'd never seen that until I moved here. I'd never seen candlepin bowling.
Yeah.
So this is for a photo double in a TV series shooting in early November in Wakefield. They're looking for men 5'7" to 5'11", 140 to 170 pounds, older male with blonde gray hair. This sounds like you or someone you know. You are going to send your contact information, photo, height, weight, clothing size, bowling experience, and what city you're based in to Boston Casting TV at gmail.com, and in the subject line, write photo double bowling and your name.
All right, those are all the casting calls for this week. So if you meet any of those descriptions, go ahead, shoot your resume, apply. If you know anyone who fits those descriptions, send them a link to this episode, and we'll try to get them famous. We can't promise that, but we'll try. We'll try.
We're doing our best. We're handing it to you, people. Come on, you can do it. There's about a dozen films and TV shows shooting right now, James, in and around New England. So, I mean, it's just a really exciting time. Stay with the Hub on Hollywood. We will continue to bring this awesome information to you, as well as everything else that we talk about with movies and pop culture. Continue to join us, have fun, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye.